All right, all right. Presented by Prize Picks. Get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 and use the promo code Welcome to Light Years. Andy, Luke, can we just let out a yell? They fucking won finally. Finally a W. Like I think I have thoughts. I know you have thoughts. I think there's a bunch we can get into about this, but like at a certain point, particularly after that last game, which was like the most disgusting loss I've ever seen, getting fouled when the clock is running out. I just needed to see a win. And it wasn't a great win. It doesn't mean everything is better, but I just needed a win.
Genuinely do not care how they win it. They could have. It could have been a half-court game winner tonight, Sam. I don't care. Maybe they get fouled at the buzzer. Doesn't matter. Right before we got on the show, you and I just sat there, just don't think we can do another loss.
When Gillespie hit that one to put it within one, I was like, nah, I can't have this again. I mean, this is how you know I'm feeling it. I put on my Big Face jersey, Big Face FC
looks expensive.
Jersey right now, where it's just I'm looking for any reason to believe, because right now they're just making me feel miserable. Yep. But anyway, good win tonight.
Great win. I would say, best win of the season at this point. At least it feels like it. Maybe not the best one.
I don't know if it's the best one of the season, but it feels like the first win they've had in months. That's how I feel right now.
It's a breathe, right? Like I feel like it's a right sigh of relief win going back into the locker room. They're 14-15 now. It's just one of those where you're like, I don't know, man. Like it feels like the season's slipping. You just hold on for one night, man.
Yeah, like you can unclench. You know what I mean? Like you can just unclench a little bit for a second. Like, that's kind of how it felt. And let's start with the hero of the night, the player who is the most interesting one going forward. Will Richard, man. Will Richard, who had been DNP'd, which I was under the impression ruins your confidence and you can never play good basketball after you've ever been DNP'd. To be fair, he should have never been DNP'd, but he gets back into the rotate. Steve makes another tweak, which we've talked about when you suck, there's no rotation. I think Draymond said it too, where you're just kind of like, yes, we're constantly changing things because nothing's working. But Will Richard, is he the only player you like on this team outside of Steph Curry? Your thoughts?
Jimmy and Steph, I think, are the enjoyable player. I genuinely like watching those two guys, and then Pat, and then Will Richards right there. 19 minutes tonight. Felt like he played 39 minutes tonight. Didn't feel like it. Somehow in those 19 minutes, he had 20 points. The highlight of the game, and I think it's very Will Richard-esque, is 0.5 seconds left in the first half. They miss a free throw, and Will Richard gets the ball, and he just before getting on the ground, he just puts it up. And it's just like very Will Richard, right? Yep. It's like Pods. He does like the stuff that Pods does, but he's got a little extra juice because he's a better shooter, right? And 4 for 4 from 3 tonight. Like he just shit, like no hesitation, just chucks it. I don't know if he ends up being a great shooter or not, but he shoots it with so much confidence. It's just like even Moses Moody, like when he's on for it, doesn't shoot it like Will Richard does. Quicker release, super confident. So I honestly, I thought he played more. I'm looking at the box score right now, and I'm like, he only played 19 minutes. He was awesome. He just tries really hard, knows where to be, like that defensive play. He's not afraid to shoot the ball. I feel like Jimmy Butler likes him a lot, which I think speaks like very loudly when Jimmy's like, hey, like if Jimmy feels like he enjoys playing with him, because if Will Richard if Will Richard doesn't shoot the ball, he doesn't do anything. He just kicks it, right? Doesn't do anything stupid. So if he gets the ball, doesn't shoot it.
He gets a glare from Jimmy. He gets a Jimmy has like some fucking immigrant dad facial expressions. You know what I mean? Where it's just like,
man, yeah, he gets angry on the court, man. Like Draymond is he. Well, actually, that's very immigrant too, though. But he yells at people. That is actually just like my dad. But Jimmy's less so. Like
Draymond, smile, explode.
Yeah, that reminds.
That's a different. The two different brands, right?
Yes. Well, Richard, though, man, how does he not stay out of the rotation? That's one tweak I think stays. I mean, that's obvious, right? Like he's not he's not leaving the floor anytime soon, right? Like that's come on.
Would you agree with me? Like the thing that stands out about him versus the other young guys is mental toughness and IQ.
Ooh, mental toughness. What do you mean by that?
Like all I ever hear is about how Steve's a monster for ruining guys' confidence. And look, I'm not here to say he's like good at like he's not a good development coach. But to be fair, I don't think we've ever said he was or wanted him in an environment where he's a development coach. Like he's not Mark Dagnall taking over a bunch of 19-year-olds, right? Like he's not that type of coach. So to play for a guy like Steve when you're a young player, you got to be mentally tough. You genuinely need to be mentally tough. You got to be comfortable with the fact that he's going to pull you when you don't, like, the leash is tighter. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like you are not getting the rope a lottery team gets. And then the IQ is just like when he's out there, his head's in the game. The play you mentioned is the best example of it, but I could pull 10 other plays from this game of just being engaged defensively, being engaged on loose balls. Obviously, he hit his shots, but I don't think hitting shots is what's keeping him on the floor. I think it's just being in the making every little play. Because like you brought it up, I don't know if he's a great shooter. Like we'll see how like. Is he a 45% shooter? No, he's probably more of like a 35% three-point shooter, right?
Yeah.
But it's like the GP2 thing where if you are engaged in the game and making plays, people will ride with you while the shot goes up and down, you know? So to me, that's the most interesting part of him. Like they hit on a pick. Late second round pick. They found a college player who's ready, who's not going to be afraid, who wasn't going to sulk that he got DMP. When by the way, he never should have got DMP'd. Like I think we all agree.
Yeah.
It's not like it's the 2017 Warriors where like, oh, sorry, Pat McCaw, there's just not minutes for you. You know, this isn't that good a team. There's minutes for him.
You think Will Richard would have played on the 2017 Warriors? I think he would have played.
I think he would have too. I think he would have played less just because they had more talent. But I agree with you. I think he would have forced it because he just knows how to play, right?
Yeah, I think he would have. Like that's his thing. Mental toughness is an interesting one. I kind of want to go back to that because that's the one I think that keeps guys in the league long term. I think Moody, exemplifies that. You're seeing Moody up and down right now. I was a little surprised he played as much as he did tonight. Kind of thought he might be close to a DMP, similar to Buddy, but he did some good things. Made a big three in the fourth quarter, kept them in the lead. So he's a guy that's
he didn't even play. To your point, I don't even think he played a good game. But there is a level of mental toughness that comes with you playing poorly and you still having like the stones to make a play when you're playing poorly.
I think so. I think Pods maybe is a little more up and down. You can kind of see the confidence. Like I think people got really mad about Pods taking that crazy shot in transition. I kind of like it. Like he hasn't really taken those shots this season. Rookie year, he would take a lot of those shots. I think they kind of coached it out of him. They're just like, hey, like we don't want those great. But now it's like, well, you know, Clay's not here. You know, they don't got much shooting. Wiggins not here. They get like, you got to shoot it. Like, Pods, if you're open, like, you do got to look at those shots. Like, he looks like he's got some confidence back. He didn't shoot it great tonight, but like, he's got some of that confidence back. But back to Richard, I of the young guys, he does feel like the most confident one, right? And I think
he knows who he is.
And I think that's the difference, though, dude. Like, have we ever seen Will Richard do a crossover pullback? Have we ever seen him do anything like that? Like, you know, he can't do that. Like, yes, he could do that against like you or I, obviously, but like he's not going to do that in the NBA, at least not right now. Maybe a couple years from now. But like, you don't see him doing that stuff because he knows who he is and he's not expanding his game. He knows, like, dude, I don't need to. I just go space. If I get the ball, I'd shoot a three. If I can't, I'll cut or I'll get an offensive rebound. And if I do all those things, I can score 10 points. Or like tonight, he makes all his threes. He has 20 points. He does it in 19 minutes. So he does seem, you said it. I mean, does seem like the most impressive player of the younger guys, which I think says a lot about Will Richard. Also says a lot about.
I mean, he wants to be Lou Dort or Josh Hart, like the best version of those type of guys.
Hart, I think, is a solid
instead of, let's be honest, like, does Kuminga want to be Lou Dort or Josh Hart? No, Kuminga wants to be a star. Does Moses Moody want to be those guys? No, Moses Moody thinks he's better than that. Does Pods want to be those guys? Of course not. He thinks he's better than that.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean they don't play hard and they don't try, but it's kind of like this guy entered the league after 4 or 5 years in college as a late second round pick, understanding this is the only job I can have. Those guys were first round picks entering with this expectation that they would be stars, and reality might hit them in different ways where they have to realize that that avenue is not open to them. So
I wonder this, how easy is it to draft someone like Will Richard around the league? Like,
if it was that easy, he'd have gone earlier in the draft and more teams would have him. If it was that easy, the Thunder would not have a super squad of 10 Will Richards.
Yeah, they make it look easy.
They do make it look easy, and maybe it's, but I think your point stands where it's just kind of like figuring out a guy who understands the role he's going to get and is ready to maximize that role, instead of most young players. They kind of want to see what they can be before they have to lock into, a role player.
I think that's interesting. Right? I think that part's interesting. I wonder if that's a second round thing versus maybe players you draft in the first round. I don't know.
For sure. I mean, like I mentioned, Lou Dort. Lou Dort was undrafted. Josh Hart was 30th or 31st in the draft. Like these are guys who were not taken in the lottery, did not have an owner on the podium talking about how this is the future of the franchise. Like, it's a different expectation. We're somewhat bearing the lead, so I want to ask you about this.
Yeah.
How much do you blame Steve, or what do you make of the fact that he was DMP'd prior to this?
Yeah.
Because I think if we're honest with ourselves, he wasn't playing poorly when he got the DMPs. He was playing better than other guys. He was certainly playing as good as other guys, and he got the short end of the straw. And Steve said in an interview, which I thought was a terrible quote. Yeah, he's like, well, I gotta, he's not doing anything wrong, but gotta go with seniority.
Or he something told the truth. He accidentally told the truth, which is his mistake. I think Steve is a he's good at managing personalities, right? Like that's Steve thing. We've talked about it. He's the best in the world. Like if you had a lot of star players in your team, there's no better coach to coach them than Steve. The problem though in this situation is you're not coaching you only have 2 star players. So you really only got to cater to Steph and Jimmy, and everyone else, it really doesn't matter. And I think that's where Steve makes this mistake in terms of urgency, because like Buddy Hield, there's no need to treat them. Like there's no need to treat Buddy Hield like he's a star. Like that.
But do you think part of that was he has to let Buddy fail a little more to sell it to Jimmy, to sell it to Steph, that like, I know he's your boy.
Well, if you say that,
do you want to make do you want to make the playoffs, or do you want to just hang out with your boy? Because I don't know that that's what's going on, but like I refuse to believe Steve is that irrational, because other people will like sell this narrative that he's a fucking psychopath and doesn't care. Like, you may disagree with his decision making, but there is a logic to it. There is a logic to the decision making, and I don't necessarily agree with it. Like, I wouldn't have benched Will to begin with, but I would almost assuredly bet you the reason it happened was trying to cater to veterans and make them feel better.
Then I don't know, but then that's on Steve, and that's on them though, right? Then that's on Steph,
including Steve, by the way.
Yeah, and Steve. Like, you kind of can't blame. I believe you. I believe that could be the case, because that's the only reason. And we know for a fact GP2 is out there a lot because of Steph. Like, and now I know GP2 is good. He made a great pass tonight. His defense is still pretty solid, but like GP2 always feels like, he plays 5 minutes too much, and we know that's because of Steph, right? Steph loves him, loves playing with him. He knows where to be. He knows how to get Steph back the ball, right? So I'm with you.
He knows how to play off of Steph. Steph doesn't have those possessions where he passes it to a younger player.
Yeah, he's standing in the corner,
expecting to get it back, and the younger player doesn't see him, and hands go in the air. Like, if you watch Steph when he's off ball, you see that happen like 5 times a game.
Yeah, no comment on who it happens with most. Wasn't playing tonight. Was very sick. Very ill. But back to Will. I do think though.
There's a lot of, to be fair, there's a lot of players who do that.
Not Guy. Um,
No, Guy's
back,
locked in. Guy knows to pass back.
there is one. There's a lot of like things in life that are always true, and this applies to everything. It's when you have an opportunity, and you don't always have amazing opportunities, right? Unless you're a star. When you have an opportunity, you have to take advantage of that opportunity, or it passes you by. And I think Will Richard, you talk about mental toughness. He saw the opportunity and he took it. I think Moses Moody did the same thing his rookie year, right? And it shows. They come in, they're absolutely ready to play. Same with Draymond. You remember Draymond when David Lee got hurt?
Yes, actually, that's a great point. That was him
and he
for
just
2 years when he was the last. Like, he was not the priority. The priority was Harrison
No.
Barnes. The priority was David Lee.
Harrison Barnes, yeah, good times. But he saw the opportunity. David Lee pulled his hammy, and David Lee, hey buddy, ride the bench. Right, career was basically over after that. And I think with Richard, I'm not saying he's Draymond or whatever, but I am saying like he didn't play for a week, 2 weeks, comes in, and he just shows up and he's ready to play. I do think that's I don't know, man. Like you don't see that shit that often. That's a winning player, and the Warriors. Hopefully, Steve, please, keep him in the rotation. He might have a bad game. He might have a bad game next game, but you gotta keep. You can't yank. I don't know, man.
I will lose my mind if he starts losing rotation minutes, unless he like really falls into the toilet. He's
Sure.
It's not just this game. It's if you look at the totality of what has been a very bad first 2 months of the season, he's been one of the only guys who brings it every night.
Yep.
And, he doesn't get 20 every night like he got tonight, but I can live with his effort, his defense, the way he fights, the way he does multiple different things. By the way, he hits more than enough shots. You know what I mean? So it's like,
man, is he like you said 35%, man? Maybe I don't know. Maybe does he? What was he at college? I remember we talked about this when he was drafting
80+% from free throw.
But he wasn't in the high 30s in college. I remember that. I hope I'm not. Hope I'm wrong.
No, you're right. He took. I mean, he's one of those guys who, if his feet are set, he can hit it. If he's on movement or rushed, he's not hitting it. So his last year in college, 36% on 6 a game. Yeah. But you know how college is. Like college is, it's a different pace. It's a different type of shot you're getting.
It's shorter,
like,
and it's closer.
It is, but like to me, and again, 84% from the free throw line. Like that's a legit.
Oh wow,
not easy to hit 84% in college, particularly when you don't like the 1-and-1 rule. The 1-and-1 rule kind of ruins your free throw percentage. So if you don't hit the first one, you don't get the second one, and it kind of adds up over the course of the season.
4 for 4 tonight, by the way. 4 for 4. Will Richard.
He can clearly shoot. He can clearly shoot the ball.
Yeah.
Like you know what he actually reminds me of? He reminds me of a Thunder player. He reminds me of like a Kassan Wallace, a Lou Dort, like a lot of the role players of Thunder have, where you're just like dog, defend, handle the ball enough to not turn it over.
I mean, that's
enough that you can't leave them open. Is he a great shooter? No. Is he like a pick and roll savant? No. But like, can you trust him in your 5-man lineup in the closing of a game? Yes. He does remind me, and like that's kind of what teams are looking for in role players, right? Like you're looking for dogs who just don't have enough weaknesses, the weaknesses are minimized. Like you know what I'm saying? Like if they're open in the corner, can they hit it? Yes. If you need them to break the press, can they do it? Yes. Like that's kind of what we're looking for in role players these days, right? Like just kind of like lack of weaknesses and dog, honestly.
Well, they played a lot of guys tonight that, I mean, just going back to the game, like they played a lot of guys tonight. They out rebounded I think Fitz kept bringing up, by the way, vintage Fitz tonight, vintage Bobby Fitz. They played a bunch of guys that just attacked the boards tonight. I know they turned the ball over a bunch. I think they had 20 turnovers again, Sam, but they had 49 rebounds tonight, and the Suns had 34. Ton of offensive rebounds. I think they out rebounded the Suns by a bunch. Second chance points, they outscored them by a bunch. I think that's the stuff that the Warriors just need to get better at. Sometimes the shooting is going to fall, sometimes it won't fall. That's how the NBA is. Sometimes you turn the ball over. Warriors, you always turn the ball over. But dude, effort should be there every night. I feel like every time I see Guy Santos come in, Guy Santos got 2 offensive rebounds in 7 minutes, dude. TJD I thought was really good tonight. After the first quarter, had 3 offensive rebounds. GP2 had 4 offensive rebounds. Like that stuff, Will Richard had 2. I think like that's the type of stuff where it's the effort that I think the Warriors should be playing every night. Regardless, win or lose, it's nice to see them just play that hard, right? And so they had the right guys out there to do tonight. We should
all right, let's do a quick.
Let's
do a quick read. But if you're watching on YouTube, hit like and subscribe. Throw us a like, guys. Appreciate it.
Light Years Podcast, guys, we are brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Turn your sports take into real money all season long. More or less, man. You get numbers. Maybe it's Caleb Williams. They're playing tonight. Jordan Love. They're playing tonight. Malik Willis. Maybe they're playing tonight. They'll give you a number. They give you passing number. You pick more. You pick less. You throw them into a lineup, and you see how it goes. But if it goes well, PrizePicks now has early payouts. So if your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. App's easy to use. Create a lineup. All you got to do, pick more or less on a few player stats. It takes like 5 seconds. I do it every other game. Download the app today. Use code LightYears. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LightYears. LightYears to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right.
Everyone should get on it Monday, by the way. You got the rare Niners Monday night, Warriors Monday night game. Like that's gonna be a fun Festivus.
I need it.
Warrior Bay Area sports fan game. I'm locked in on Brock right now. Brock's looking good. MVP. I'm gonna go with the little Brock Steph 1-2
MVP.
Feeling good about that. I'm feeling good about that one. MVP. But
I'm feeling good about Brock.
Brock's looking good. I really wish the Niners didn't lose all their great defensive players because it literally looks like they could run the table if they didn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a different podcast.
Don't bring it up.
Guys, before we move on, I just want to tell you about our friends at Body Spec. Look, they've been great to us for over a year here. We've been sponsoring us, and holiday time, looking for a gift for the family, or let's be real, we're all going to have the same New Year's resolution to get back into shape next year. Number one thing that matters about getting into shape is being honest with where you're at so you can track your fitness journey. So what do our friends at Body Spec do? They get you a DEXA scan for only $45 with the code LightYears45. What's a DEXA scan? DEXA scan is a highly accurate method of measuring your body's composition. Lean muscle mass, body fat percentage. Look, we all watch sports. We all know, he's only got 6% body fat. You do not have a 6% body fat. I do not. But, we can all go for goals, right? Visceral fat, the fat around your organs. Basically, get that diagnostic of what's actually going on in your body instead of just standing on the scale like a bum. What's cool about Body Spec is they got mobile vans that will come with you to you, measure you, and start your fitness journey. So, my friends, if you're trying to get back into shape, if you're looking at a way to really reignite your fitness journey, nothing is better than a DEXA scan. So bodyspec.com, code LightYears45. Get that scan, start your fitness journey, buddy. All right, let's talk about the other interesting part of this game to me, which was Draymond getting kicked out.
Oh, almost suspended.
Sorry, they go hand in hand. So I just tripped over my words. Did you think he deserved to get kicked out?
Deserves got nothing to do with it with Draymond.
I feel like I'm moving to like radical, like cultish, like Draymond Island, where I'm just like, I gotta defend him. I get very mad when I hear people's comments on him. I'm defending him like he's family these days.
I mean, he does feel like that. I mean, it's been a long time. We've watched Draymond for a long time. He's won a lot of big games for the Warriors. So you can never say it's like Clay, right? When Clay was falling apart there at the end of the Warriors. Especially when Clay, you remember Clay couldn't make a shot against the Lakers. man, if he had made a shot, they might have won that series. Draymond, no, he didn't deserve to get teed up twice. It was ridiculous. I mean, if that's the case, Dylan Brooks deserves to get suspended for 5 games. What the fuck are we doing here? But that's Draymond. Go. I'll let you go. I want you to go now. I just.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. This is your polite way of saying I'm not gonna fucking give him an out. So, I don't know that he deserved it, but it's hard to not notice they played more fluid without him.
So I was gonna say that, but thanks for taking it.
I'm gonna say it because I know you wanted to, but now I'm gonna take the heat. Some dude who's a Draymond radical is gonna be like, "You hate Draymond." My mentions. I'm always getting the hate. Blame me. No,
blame me. Blame us.
Where are you with Draymond? It's he like objectively speaking, he's been bad for maybe a month. Like I thought the Spurs games gave me life. Yeah. He looked phenomenal against Wemby. He looked like the best defensive player in the league. He looked like he could still hit that ceiling that we always hope he could. And since then, I mean, I've been doing what you do when one of your boys is fucking up, which is just not talking. So
he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a good friend. Do you think he should come off the bench? Do you think that will help? Or is it doesn't matter? It just doesn't matter.
I don't think they're good enough to bring him off the bench right now. So, but I think,
what? But what if they push his minutes away from playing with Jimmy? Right? What if they?
Well, that's what they did last year a little bit. Yeah. They did a better job staggering.
Yeah, I think that might be a better play where they start. I don't know, whatever. You kind of have Jimmy at the 4. I don't know. Maybe you put Gee. I don't know. I'm just saying it might be better for them to put Draymond off the bench and maybe cut his minutes down from 33 to like 26, so he can play better. He can play faster. He can play harder. And he can kind of man the bench units with a bunch of shooters around him, and him and Jimmy don't have to play together. It's very clear that he still has the defensive chops. He does. But I think the offense, and I think it's in his head now, dude. You can kind of see it. The turnovers are, I think, getting in his head, and he's getting frustrated. I mean, you could say tonight the frustration kind of spilled over to double text, but I think there's a path to him. Look, they're not going to trade him. Can we agree on that? Can we agree that the Warriors aren't going to trade Draymond Green? Like that's not happening.
It's going to take a very special offer for that to happen. They're not trading him for Najee Marshall and and like a rim runner or something,
Najee,
and that ain't happening. That ain't happening. Sorry. Yeah. Giannis, sure.
What do you think happens? What do you think happens if Kirk Lacob calls the team in and, hey, Draymond or Mike Dunleavy, come on in here. We're trading you. You think those guys? You think Dunleavy's walking out of that room?
Hey, Steph, we've traded Draymond for Daniel Gafford. Dude, be real. Kirk doesn't have the balls to do that. Come on. Yeah, you put yourself on mute because you're laughing.
I don't think I would want to.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
Steph that they're trading.
Well, I think that's every now and then we get comments like, why are you not running him out of town? Why are you not doing this and that? And it's like, brother, the front office is afraid to do it. They're afraid to tell Steph to do it. You think me getting on this pod being like, hey, you gotta go, is gonna change that? But let's take that aside. I kind of actually want to know where your head's at with it. Like, honestly, you're on mute. You're on mute, Andy.
You should bring him off the bench, man. Dude, my fucking...
No, you're good. You're good. Are you
How about now?
do you
Speak about life.
you're good. You're good. Can you hear me? Do you think
Okay. Good. Good.
like
Good.
what do you
Good.
think? I guess
Wi-Fi.
my question for you is this. And not if you can hear me. It's not a great sign if you're not nodding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay. What do
Yeah.
you
My Wi-Fi
what
is struggling.
you're coming through clear, brother. You're coming through clear. Don't let it get in your head. Don't
Okay.
let
Okay. Okay.
don't let your Conor Gillespie Wi-Fi ruin the game. Um,
Like Draymond.
for real, right? For real. No, my question for you is a more simple one. It's not like, do you think they'll do it or would you do it? Because both of those are nonsensical questions. What do you think is realistic to expect from Draymond the rest of the season? Do you actually think he can get back to what we saw at the end of last year? Do you think that's out? Like, what do you think is a realistic scenario for what he can do as a player the remainder of the way? Because I think we're both, like, sadly, we're both in agreement. He's not getting dumped like he's Looney. He's not getting dumped like he's Wiggins. Like, sorry, like it's not happening. If he gets traded, Steph's going to have to sign off on it. And that's some Godfather, like,
Yep.
Fredo, I love you, but, you broke my heart type of shit. Like, he's not doing that.
Yep.
With that, like, sorry, Steph's not LeBron. He's not going to, like, have him trade and then be like, I didn't know they were going to trade you for Luka. I didn't know that was coming. He's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. Like, so sorry, had to get that in. Although, maybe I wish you would.
No, to me, there's only one way, truly, because like you get the bench and splitting up, it's all bullshit. There's only one way to need to fill that play sized that they have right in the starting lineup. That's the problem. If they had a real sniper, that allows one to stay offensively. That's the only way.
Yeah.
So, like, if Cam Johnson was on this team
or MPJ,
I think it would have been fine.
MPJ is my new Cam Johnson.
Your boy Michael Porter.
Oh no!
The only.
Oh no! Oh no! We'll give Andy a little grace here. Let him figure it out. Whoever in the mentions was just making fun of me, going, Sam pretending he's understanding. Look, I've done podcasts with Andy for 10 years. I don't need to hear every word he says to understand what he's saying. Like, give me 30% of what he's saying. I'm there. So we were good. Now, was that good for you as the audience? But that's not my problem. Anyway, let's get our guy back up here. Let's see if this works better. I can see Andy. All right, let's see what's going on here. I'm going to take Andy off here. Let him figure his tech stuff out. It is what it is. It's not his fault. All right. So, by the way, Andy, just hit refresh on the browser. Let's try that first. My question for everyone now is, what would you prefer the rotation to be going forward? I think that's the most interesting question here. Like, okay, Buddy Hield got benched. Buddy's been playing horrible for an extended period of time. Deserved benching. I think Steve tried really hard to get him going. He gave him a little more grace than, most players, vets tend to go that way. It's a classic coaching move. You want to see what he's got going. Now he's out of the rotation. So for me, this is the Warriors rotation. I don't want to say going forward, but like, let's try this for the next few games. You got Steph Curry starting at the 1. I would start Pods at the 2. Pod's been excellent recently, and he plays best when he plays next to Steph and Jimmy. Jimmy at the 3, Draymond at the 4, Post at the 5. That's what I would start with. Then I would bring Pat Spencer as my backup ball handler. I want Pat out there when Steph's off the floor because you just need someone who can handle a little bit. I would put Melton out there. Melton, by the way, he's been struggling recently, but he should be the team's starting 2 guard by the end of the season. Once he knocks off the rust and gets a little more comfortable. Will Richard, I know he's not 3, but 3 guards is fine off the bench. He can definitely guard multiple positions. So Will Richard's in there. I would put Moody as my swing wing at the 4. He's had his best success at the 4. I know that's not the ideal position for him, but that's what we're doing. And then we got Horford or TJD. So that's my 10-man rotation. That's where I'm going with it. Kuminga, odd man out right now. Buddy Hield, odd man out. Seth Curry, well, you haven't been healthy for a while, so you're odd man out too. That would be the way I would go with it for at least the short term here. And really what we're trying to figure out right now is, can we get to the trade deadline while not sucking? That's the most important thing. Because I think we all agree the lineup I said is not good enough. But we want to get to the trade deadline well enough to be in position. Andy, my man.
Gee, dude.
It's all good. It's all
We're
good.
back.
I gave her a mind. I'm gonna ask you this. So go forward. What is your rotation going forward now? Like clearly, like I'm just gonna preface this. All right, Buddy got a lot of runway. He got benched DMP tonight. Kuminga didn't play tonight, but going forward, what do you want to see the rotation being? And let's go with the goal being just be in good position when you get to January 15th, you can start making trades.
I think the rotation tonight makes sense. They played 12 guys tonight, which is probably, if Draymond played his usual 30 minutes, they're probably like, I don't know if Guy Santos plays tonight. I don't know if TJD plays as much as he does. So I think that's 2 guys that aren't playing. That is a 12-man rotation. You cut that to 10. Steve's going to push that to 11. But I think that's right. I think you give Will Richard his minutes. I think GP2 get his minutes. Those guys are in the 15, 20-minute mark. I think TJD plays some backup stuff. And I think that's where you get those are your guys where you know they're going to give 100% effort every night. And I have no comment on the Kuminga stuff. He was sick again today. I don't understand why they played him in the couple minute stretch. He's very clearly a player that if he's going to play, he needs to play 30 minutes. I just don't know how they can play him 30 minutes. I don't know. You're gonna have to explain it to me. But I like the rotation. I thought Steve did fine. Like he put the right players. I think they're gonna keep Buddy out. And I think he's gonna get Will Richard in there. And I think, and I was mentioning this earlier before my comments, before my AOL Wi-Fi kind of got to me. But I do think if you lessen some of Draymond minutes, it's actually gonna help him. It's going to help him where he's going to get to play harder. I think part of his problem right now is that, and this team's problem is that they're going to need other players to play better. They cannot have their older players play more because Draymond can't give 100% at 35 minutes. He can give 100% at 25. And I think that's what they need to do, where it's like, just have Draymond play less and have him play more, and he's going to be better. I do think that's true. Guys like Steph and Jimmy, I'm sorry, you got to play 35. So, but with Draymond, I think they can push his minutes down and hope that you just get shooting. And I thought TJD was good tonight, dude. I thought his defense was pretty solid. Like it was pretty good. Is he gonna be good in the postseason? Don't care. You know why? Team's 14 and 15. Just stack up regular season wins, right?
Bro, we're trying to beat the Raptors next week. We're not worried about it.
Raptors are good, and Raptors are good. You know what I'm saying? And Raptors are very good. Like find a way. Like Brandon Ingram.
We need to beat the Mavericks on Christmas. You know, like we don't need to be. We do not need to be concerned about the Rockets in April right now. We need to be concerned about just winning games right now.
Yes.
And I actually think that's part of the reason Will Richard was such a breath of fresh air, and he needs to play going forward.
Yeah.
It reminds me of young Draymond. like they're not the same player, but it's just like he understands his role is to play his ass off. There's no begging him to focus. He understands if he gets 0 points or 20 points, the effort doesn't change. They need more guys like that. Because to your point, like asking 35-year-old Draymond to play like that on a nightly basis, it's not happening. And the chat and everyone can complain that like, all right, it's time to move off of him, time to move on to someone else. Maybe, sure, but that doesn't change what we're talking about, which is you just need more dogs around Steph. You need more dudes who are just gonna get the loose ball, stick a shot, play harder. You know, that's actually kind of the most frustrating part of the young guys is they consistently have gotten cooked by like the Quentin Jacksons of the world.
Yeah.
You know, like the G leaguer who's like, I don't know if I got a contract next week, but I'm going to fucking let them know I can play, you know, like those type of guys, which is, no, this isn't something I just said tonight. It's something you've said for months, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, you're not that
that's
special. Play harder.
Part. That's why I pointed out Guy Santos 2 offensive rebounds in 7 minutes. That's just, bro. That's just effort, man. Like if you're NBA size and you're good enough to be in the league, like you can do that. Anybody could do that, and you don't got to be elite talent to freaking go and get an offensive rebound. That's it. That's all. Which is why it's like, you know, like do the Warriors need to trade for? I saw Chris Haynes report it last night. Like they're looking at trading for Gafford and Claxton. It's like, yeah, I would love Gafford. I would love Claxton. Who's a third guy? I forget.
Robert Williams.
Robert Williams. Yeah, I would love for the Warriors to get those guys. Are they the top priority? Like probably not. But those guys would be great. But it's also like you also can out rebound teams. Like you don't need the biggest guys on the floor, but you know, and now
your lack of Claxton's not why you're getting punked by the Suns.
Yeah.
You know, like that lack of talent might be why you can't compete with the Rockets or the Nuggets. But games like against the Suns, that's
Blazers, Bucks, Pacers, like you're losing all these.
The Wolves.
You lost like 8 games against teams that, like, honestly, they were all favored in those games. And you lost those games because you just don't have the effort 48 minutes. And these teams do. Like, these teams do. You don't need that. Like, is the team not, like, agreed? Like, is the team not as talented as the Rockets? Yeah, like, they're just not as good, dude. They'd lose to them. But doesn't mean that you shouldn't be freaking winning games against teams that you should be winning against. And I think people argue like, yo, but it's like they lost to the Blazers 3 times. You shouldn't be losing those games. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so,
yeah.
Right.
For me, it's like, look, I'll worry about what they need to compete with the top 4 in the West when they can show they can consistently beat the bottom 4 in the West.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's one step at a time. Like I would love to get on here and just be arguing about how they don't have enough to go against the Nuggets. Right now, I'm concerned about, do they have enough to go against the Suns?
Yeah.
And so until they clear that, and I do think they have enough to go against the Suns. I do think they have enough to go against the Blazers. And so I want to see them start clearing those hurdles before we worry about trade deadline stuff.
Yeah.
And you know me, like I fucking love to argue about trades and fake trades and that sort of stuff. But like, I'm just being honest with you. Like, just show me you can beat a team like the Suns every time first. All right, we got Tatiana up here. Maybe a couple people in, then we can get out of here.
You sound like Joe Lacob. Show me so I can make a trade.
I mean, I want to make a trade no matter what. To be clear, that's the difference between me and Joe. I mean, I want that either way. I'm just saying tonight on December 20th.
Yeah,
that's where my concern is.
I know.
So, you guys.
Oh, you got Andy's internet.
Is it my Wi-Fi again?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
you're good.
Ah, damn! It's like I'm so sorry. I don't want to have the boba tea internet from the mall. Like, forgive me, you guys. But anyway, shout out to Steph. He's about 109 points away from passing Kevin Garnett for most total points in NBA history. So kudos to him for bouncing back.
What number is that? What is that? Is that top 20? Top 15?
KG's like 21. So
Okay.
we're getting.
All right.
So yeah.
Okay.
The real goal is 27K, and in 2 years he's gonna pass Carmelo and Anthony anyway. But it is what it is. So
top 10.
Yeah, well, 11 because we've got to wait for Harden to retire. But we know Harden's stats are fake anyway. It is what it is.
He's gonna be in the top 10. I'm not concerned. I'm pulling this up right now.
10. Okay.
Go ahead, Tashan. Go ahead.
But the main thing is that we all want Draymond to become a bench player, kind of like in the Andre Iguodala role. And Paratos brought this up earlier as to maybe we should bench Draymond for Jonathan Kuminga. Turns out Jonathan Kuminga is useless as an NBA player, so he's not good enough to actually do that role. So kudos to Paratos.
I said that in the preseason too. Like I'm not gonna let Paratosh get all the blame. I said like maybe that was the move in the preseason too. That was a terrible take.
Yeah, it's like the idea is sound. It's just that we don't have the actual player to do it, and that's the main thing. Same thing like we needed a center, and then Wiseman didn't work because he was a generational bust. But it is what it is. So the issue that people are going to tend to do is that are we really going to bench Draymond for Guy Santos? And that's going to be an uncomfortable conversation, but it might work to just scratch and claw to get them to the point where we are at the point where Joe Lacob and Mike Dunleavy have to make a decision to say like, hey, this team is actually competing their ass off, and it just needs a little more juice in order to become a competent basketball team again. So that's kind of like the only issue with the whole benching Draymond thing, because we don't have the guys to actually make the move that we want to make.
Look, I will say one thing. I do think Draymond, he's come off the bench for Kuminga before. Draymond's not an idiot, man. Like he is annoying to me, and he does crazy shit like tonight. But I think he does get it. I think you can. Well, not you, not us, but I think Steph and Steve can get to him and say like, hey, it's probably better for the team that we take you off the bench and you start someone like Guy Santos. It's not about Guy Santos, like, oh, Guy Santos is better than you. No, it's about the fit's better to start the games. And guess who's going to be closing the last 5 minutes of the game, right? Let's be very clear. Like, who's going to be closing games out at the 5? Probably, most likely 99.9% Draymond. But I do think when I say Draymond should come off the bench, it's a fit thing, especially when you start these games out, that it's like every game's the same, right? Every game is just like, all right, Draymond's running the offense. Steph can't get into the lane. Jimmy's kicking it out to Draymond like the first 4 possessions for 3. And then maybe Draymond makes one and it's like, boom. But it's like, bro, like you can't keep doing that stuff. So I think Draymond knows this. I do think at some point here, if this keeps up, and I think it will, is that they can convince him to say like, hey, come off the bench, but it's not like you're not closing. Like, I don't think Draymond's at the point where he's not closing games, but I do think it's better for the team overall if they just, and that's the thing, right? Like you mentioned Kuminga, like if he came off the bench for Kuminga, I would be like, nah, because you're not actually solving anything. Like that, like when he comes off the bench, you need to have an actual plan, right? If he comes off the bench for Kuminga, like what is Kuminga doing that Draymond, like what is he doing?
Well, so my logic for that one, which like I think is gone at this point. I think for better or worse, they've ruined Kuminga at this point.
Yes, I agree with that. That I agree with.
Turns out you can ruin G Ignite players, but you can't ruin college players that played like 4 years. Shout out Will Richard, man. Shout out Will Richard.
Different
what I was gonna say is, I thought if you started Horford, who can do a facsimile of Draymond on offense, that would make it easier to get Kuminga going while holding some semblance of positional size with the starting lineup, even though we all know that they're still probably going to close with Draymond. I thought that made sense on paper, but it never broke out that way. Like, one, Horford at this point through 30 games, it don't look great either. So it's not like, that's part of it too. But the other part of it is they've never really established a style of play that's well enough that you can trust them to go that route. And that's the other part of it. Like, Andy's right. I agree with Andy. Like, I don't think Draymond cares about starting. I think Draymond just cares about being a closing lineup player and being like in the fold when games matter. Like, he wants to matter, right? And they haven't necessarily played well enough that they can do that. They haven't played well enough where it's like, Draymond, we're going to move you to the bench. They've been kind of in fight or flight mode the whole season, which speaks to kind of how mediocre they are at this point. So
Yeah.
I don't know. You can talk about all the issues Draymond presents, but getting rid of him presents a whole new set of issues that you're also equally unprepared to solve right now.
The only way it would make sense would be like if they got Nick Claxton back, and then, but
Sure.
yeah, and it goes back to it though. It's like, I think Steph wants. It's not happening. So forget it. It's not happening. Draymond's here to stay.
But like, to your point, they get someone like a Claxton who's a great defensive player, or like a rising good defensive player who can do a bunch of the things Draymond can do. Then you talk about it. They don't have that on the roster right now. So
Draymond and Claxton would be kind of cool. I don't know if I love the fit, but man, it'd be kind of cool defensively. But you definitely need MPJ.
It'd be cool. It'd be cool that just to add good players to this roster.
Sure.
Like,
Sure. Yeah. 25 million burning a hole on the bench right now. It's not good. Actually, I should say 36 million burning a hole on the bench right now. All right. Do we got any? Do we got?
I think we end it there. I think everyone should go enjoy some family time. Appreciate everyone. We got a win out of the way. Not everything is resolved, but everyone could be in a better mood, at least till Orlando.